Kathleen.
And I'm Charlene, the giggly one.
Giggly.
Ma.
Ma, the
I'm
goofball
Ma,
Ma.
yes.
I'm the
That's
daughter.
right. And I'm
She's
the mother, obviously.
We're back this week. Our subject is BTS. Got that?
No. Behind the scenes
Yes.
of what a musician does to
Behind
be
the
prepared.
scenes.
Be prepared. That's my motto
but it's
in life.
Fine,
right?
but it's also
Okay.
the day, you know, you're a professional musician.
Yes,
What do
right.
you do? What is your life like? People always want to know what it's like behind the scenes.
Okay.
Meaning, you know, what do you do the day of a performance? What do you do a regular day of the week? What do you do for rehearsals? What do you do behind the scenes?
Okay. All right. So,
Okay,
shall I start?
go ahead. So she's the symphony orchestra.
Yes, and several things. When you're in a symphony, usually you have a dress rehearsal the same day as the concert. Right?
The same day?
Yes, in the morning, mid-morning.
Because that's like when the soloists come.
Yes, yes. Sometimes
might come
the day before, but you never, because you usually sometimes rehearse other things the day before besides, but usually maybe it's two days of rehearsals, the dress rehearsal and then the concert. And so therefore the dress rehearsal to me is always more like the concert because you don't have to, you're not stressed, you're relaxed, it's really nice. And then you go home and then you have to take a rest. You have to somehow take a rest depending on your family and all that kind of thing. And then eat supper and get to at least an hour or more before you go to the rehearsal hall and warm up.
You change clothes. When you're in an orchestra, you have sort of
Yeah, nowadays you have more lockers and things. Maybe you leave stuff there, but as a woman, I always dressed, you know, made up your hair and all that kind of stuff before you went, and maybe just put your long dress on there. But the thing is, you have to get someplace early to rehearse. I mean, even at a rehearsal, it's not just your body that has to warm up, but your instrument physically has to warm up because you know, it has to acclimatize itself. It's either been out in the car, in the cold, in the hot, whatever, and it also, as a wood or instrument, you certainly have to let it get warm. And you can do partly by playing, but part just by the air. And I always kind of just held mine like a baby, you know, to kind of keep it warm.
your instrument?
Yeah, like here in my arms, to keep it warm against your body.
You mean in the case?
Well, I did that too, but after you get to rehearsing it, and while you're not practicing ahead of time or something, you kind of just hold it close to you.
I didn't know that.
Excuse me. But as far as a day-to-day practice, and you have to physically practice your instrument some, if no more than an hour, at least an hour of some kind of basic warm-ups. But in the orchestra, in the music, there's always some little passages that you have to work on. There just are, because you don't have, you know, weeks to study something. Mm-hmm. There was this one conductor, Celibidache, he was in Germany a long time, but he demanded like 2 or 3 weeks of rehearsals, and no one in the States would hire him because you can't do that. Well, he actually came to Quebec, I guess it was, and he had extra rehearsals. He didn't have 2 weeks. He might have had close to it though. You know, and actually, I don't know if it's that much better after
what kind
a while.
of repertoire was he playing?
Just the standards. He just wanted to pick it apart, you know, like measure by measure kind of thing, or instrument by instrument almost.
And did it help?
Well, as a guest conductor, it probably did. But if you were doing that all the time, I don't know. He was in Munich for a long time, and they did it, I guess. But he was renowned for that. He just really picked everything apart.
But in an orchestra, how far ahead do you know what is going to be on the concert? I mean, would you know a month in advance?
Yes. Well, they put the programs out a year ahead because they have to get the music. They have to rent it or they whatever, and they have to do the librarian has to do a lot of marking or erasing from the previous
because you rent the
person.
scores.
Yeah, usually you do. All the big orchestras, I think they have the standard things you probably own there. So you can get the music out ahead, but you don't get it out too much ahead. Then I don't think they even like you to have it out too much ahead for that reason. They have to get it ready and make sure it's there. So you do have to practice, though, and there's always some parts you have to practice. There's nothing that isn't.
So on top of all this, like, what is your normal life like? What do you do?
That.
Do
Well,
you exercise? Do you eat special foods? Do you, you have costumes, so you have to have different clothing.
Yeah, you have your special clothing all the time. When I first started in the Baltimore Symphony, we were not allowed to wear any jewelry. What? None whatsoever. So, I mean, it didn't matter. You took your earrings, you took them off when you got there, that kind of thing. But now I don't think they.
What was the rule for that?
I don't know. They wanted no distractions.
Did you have to wear black?
Oh, you always wear black, except maybe it's a pop concert.
Or you wore white top.
So you
or
have,
something.
well, or colored. I mean, like New York Philharmonic, we did that in Quebec for the Carnival. We always had colored dresses.
Oh, you did Carnival
Yeah, concerts. Oh, you're kidding. Bonhomme Carnival came and sat on my lap one time. He came in Quebec to have snowman, and he goes around the town, and nobody knows who he is. Every year it's somebody different, and he's a real clown, and he comes
and he's huge.
So, he's huge, and so every year he'd come to the concert, I guess, and this one year he came and he was messing around, he walked through the orchestra, and he came and sat right on my lap. It was really
During
funny.
a concert?
Well, we probably had stopped playing, and he was, I don't know, he came walking in, walking around, and he just came and sat on my lap. It was pretty funny. So you never know what's going to happen.
I remember, didn't you play for the Ice Capades?
Yes, I played. Yes, right.
A slide around the
right. So you always get extra jobs if you can, and of course that means extra energy all the time too. Because if you're playing in the orchestra and then you're playing extra jobs, and you never turn down extra jobs, there's always radio jobs or TV or like the Ice Capades. So you really have to be organized. You just have to be organized. And if you have a family, you always have to make sure there's food at home and a babysitter, for instance. Boy, that was a big thing in my life, always having babysitters and arranging that, because there's one thing about rehearsals and concerts, you never miss them. It doesn't matter what's wrong, how bad you feel, anything. You go to those rehearsals. There's just, it's like here in an office, my God, you can call in, it's nothing. But for orchestra, probably any real professional group, you never miss. You just don't miss. You can't. I don't know. That's just an ingrained thing. You never miss.
Okay, so when you're playing in the rehearsals, do you put forth all the energy like you would in a concert? Oh, yes. You do. So there's never any sort of laid back thing. Oh, no. Because that's something people do that, but you shouldn't. That's something that amateurs do not know. Yes. They think rehearsals are to just be halfway. No. Yeah, no, you can't. Doodle. And I was thinking about that too.